Yung very first one, like when I got in, was around 60,000. 60,000 a month. So that was $8 an hour.
Marami ang nagsasabi kapag naging VA ka, doon na umiikot ang buong buhay mo.
Yes, that is right, Tata. And our guest today is a executive assistant. Siya ng isang international client habang nagpapatakbo rin ng sariling music label.
Paano niya kaya ito napapagsabay, yung dalawang mundo? Magkano na ba talaga ang kinikita niya as an executive assistant at paano siya nakahanap ng client? Well, my name is Tata
And I'm Roxy.
and you're watching From Kayod to Keyboard. Kung gusto mong maging virtual assistant or gusto mong makarinig ng totoong kwento ng mga successful Filipino VAs, well, nasa tamang podcast ka.
Yes, and for today's episode, we will know kung ano ba talaga ang trabaho ng isang executive assistant and paano nga ba nakahanap ng client si guest natin today, magkano ang realistic na salary ng isang executive assistant, and paano niya nababalanse ang pagiging virtual assistant habang nagpapatakbo ng music label. At bakit minsan ang pinakamahirap na client ay sarili mong negosyo. So let's all welcome Gab Rondain, our executive assistant, VA, and CEO for New Generation Label. Hi, Gab.
Hi, how are you guys doing?
Okay naman kami ikaw. Ikaw, kumusta?
I'm doing fine. I'm doing kind of great. This week was kind of great for me. So
Okay, we're so excited to go through your journey as a VA and as someone who owns a business. Pero bago ang lahat, bago ka naging executive assistant, ano yung ginagawa mo noon? Like, paint us a picture.
well, ako, how I really got into like my whole career and everything. I think it started around college, like when I just entered college and everything. I was just someone who's really interested in making money. It's kind of who I was. So I sold many things for people. Basically, I got into sales. Kind of. I the first thing before I started doing that for people was I did it for myself first. I bought stuff and then I traded them up like online, and that's I started flipping things. And then yeah, from there I opened a car business. I was used to restore vintage cars and classic cars. That's because that was something I really liked. I did that. I never was able to fully push through with it though. So I fell short of I fell short of one business. And then I also opened the middleman business. Basically, it's the same thing I've done for myself, but like it's more of a company that does it for people instead. So you sell one client another person's services or another person's inventory. Then that's one of them. Again, I didn't really fully push through with it, but I kind of made some good money off that. And then yeah, I think towards the time in my life, like a few years or a couple years after, where I was very stagnant because I was trying to find out what I really wanted to do. And part of those 2 years, that's where I got into becoming a virtual assistant, and that's where I also opened my label. So
Yes, so
Ay, pinagdaanan nito ni Gab, no?
yeah, ang daming business pala ni Okay, Gab, so starting your career as a virtual assistant, how did you, maybe you can share how did you land your first client?
how I landed my first client when I went into becoming a virtual assistant. Again, I think part of those 2 years of being stagnant, I was just looking around actually like work from home jobs. I guess that's what a lot of people end up doing, right? End up becoming a virtual assistant. Or I'm sorry, this is what a lot of people look for when you're trying to look for a work from home job. It's the most viable one. It's the most accessible one. It's being a virtual assistant. And I think it was just during the pandemic or after, but the pandemic where it kind of blew up. Like becoming a virtual assistant became very accessible to our country, something like that, or everyone started looking into it. Actually, that's just such a strange thing. I just want to insert it in there that it became such a very common thing at a
Yes.
certain point of time. after the 2020s that being a virtual assistant is great. You earn a lot. You get to work from home. All that
Dumating
stuff.
na yung mga TikTok videos.
Yeah, and people started posting about it. They started spreading it around and all that stuff. In any case, I guess I wasn't there yet, or like that wasn't something that was very exposed to me. It's just that I ended up going into it myself. So, syempre I was looking through websites or like, where you can find jobs and all that stuff. Just looking for something I can do because I hate it when I'm not doing anything really. um,
What platform did you use finding client?
these are the platforms I used, but these I'm not entirely sure. I think it was LinkedIn that I actually used to get it,
Mhm.
but I used a lot. I was using JobStreet, um, JobStreet, PH, LinkedIn. And there was one more. I'm trying to remember the name, but I can't remember. It
Online
was
jobs.
something cloud. No, not online jobs.
Upwork?
Something cloud. It wasn't
Some-
Upwork either, but I've heard about Upwork and it's a great place to start then.
Yes.
And yeah,
Fiverr.
so- Fiverr. Not Fiverr, but it's another great place to start. Maybe you can get into the topic later. I found this application that said it's from Magic. Magic's actually where I really started. It's an outsourcing
okay.
company. It's an outsourcing company. So yeah, there's different ways to get into being a VA. Like you can use an outsourcing company, or you could try going for a direct hire, which is Fiverr and Upwork, which is more of freelancing. Being part of an outsourcing company is more like they agent for you to do work for executives and everything. So I saw the application, I applied, I got it. So that's how it
Okay. So, itong client mo ngayon, paano mo siya nahanap? Yun yung first mo. Pero yung client mo, pang ilang client mo na siya?
This one, I think he's possibly my fourth client.
Mm.
First or
Fourth.
okay.
And I had two clients that was from Magic. I think a third one was more of freelancing, and then my fourth one kind of found me, and then started from there.
Tapos itong lahat, executive assistant positions.
Yes. All explain executive assistants.
So tell me, what's the biggest misconception about being a executive virtual VA?
Biggest misconception. Wow. How about you kind of guide me a little bit? Tell me what you guys think the biggest misconception is.
Sige.
And
Feeling
then
ko yung mga yung mga EE, taga-schedule ng appointments ng ng CEO
Yeah.
nila. Yeah. Anything they need to to make their lives easier, they give it to the EA.
Okay. I think there's a very good misconception.
Like I think most of the people kasi think na pag executive parang more on like admin lang.
yes,
you
that's
can
exactly as I was
expand,
about to
yeah.
say. Most of them really think it's all just admin work, but it's not. You really, at least my experience, being an executive assistant, ako talaga, in every position I went in, I had to act more like the extension talaga, the CEO.
Yeah.
So it goes into every single department of what the CEO is doing. It's not just the admin work. Like you go into marketing, you go into everything really. So I think a big misconception is it's not just admin work, or you're not just taga schedule for your CEO or for your boss, something like that. Kasi minsan nga ako yung ako nagdedemanda sa boss. Just joking.
Tell us what you do. You said kasi kanina, it's you are acting as the extension of your CEO. So what kind of decisions do you have to make as an extension of your CEO? Like what big decisions?
I think sometimes when it comes to projects, again, this is not a thing, I guess, that's always gonna be there. for every VA that's working out there. I think it really depends on who you get and how much trust you guys have in between each other for him to let you decide what you want to do. But yes, when it comes to projects a company, and there are things that need to be decided internally, that becomes yung mga colleagues mo. Which, by the way, should be added into a misconception that na parang you work solo when you come into being a virtual executive assistant. You actually work with yung company members ng CEO actually. So it's just something I wanted to add there. But it comes to like decision making when it comes to those projects, or there are
Ano yung nature? Ano yung nature ng client mo? Like, is it, what type of business he handles ba?
yung client ko ngayon, electrical business siya.
Electrical,
In the
okay.
US. Yeah. In the US. So, projects don't always end up being mga in-person na ginagawa nila. Those can end up din yung mga marketing and all that stuff. Or yung mga campaigns nila to like expand their business and stuff like that, or entering a new service into their like line of work. So those are the ones that kind of act as an extension of like when it comes to deadlines, or hey, what should we focus on right now with this list of tasks that we gotta do to get this on the map.
Yes. Kasi pag executive assistant ka, parang ikaw din yung nagiging brain ng yeah.
Executive mo.
Yes. From the word executive, diba? Okay, Gab. So let's talk about salary and growth naman. Maybe you can share how much is your first salary mo bilang executive assistant?
Yung very first one, like when I got in, was around 60,000 a month. So that was $8 an hour. Then you just kind of, and shit, was the first one. Sorry, I just trying to remember the first one. Yeah, $60, 8 hours, $8 an hour. And I think I even did it part-time first. The first one that I got into wasn't full-time. So you spend 20 hours a week. That's like 4 hours a day. And then, yeah, I got 60K. Then from there, getting more clients. And it just went up higher and higher. Which something like you can relate to growth, I guess. In general, I don't want to give everyone advice, but when you're in your job for a while now, or you're even entering something, your goal should always be to increase your salary. Always. Like, it's not just you love the salary here, you want to just keep it balanced. Your target's to always increase it, so you get those raises, guys.
Pero di ba, unusual for your first job to get $8 per hour as a VA?
Yeah.
For you, Roxy, di ba? At tapos executive assistant pa.
Yeah. Yung mga, I think mas mataas din kasi talaga yung rate ng executive. So, mas malaki yung mga per hour nila. If hourly lang.
Pero maganda bigayan ng magic, ibig sabihin. Kasi magic yung first mo, no? Mahirap yung application.
As I've heard recently that it's gotten harder, yeah. Apparently it's been, well, I think it's been getting harder to apply anywhere now when it comes to virtual assistant work. Because like I get it said again, parang nag-boom talaga yung industry. So everyone wants to do it now.
Pero yun, nagmo-multiple clients ka rin, Gab?
Right now, no, because I am directly hired under one, like at full time.
That's 8 hours.
8 hours a day. Yeah.
Okay, so let's give our viewers some tips. Kasi I'm so like happy to hear na your first VA job got you $8. Kasi I'm sure a lot of people watching right now, medyo matutuwa sila dun sa sagot na yun kasi it's possible. What skills do you think you had in prior of being a VA that made you ready for an executive assistant post?
Wow, that's a good question. I love that question. Ako, being the person I am, who kind of wanted to do many things in life or tried doing a lot of things, I had quite a lot, but none of them were ever fully professional. You know what I mean? Like I had a lot of these skills. I can't say I mean, I guess I could say I'm kind of mediocre or at best a little bit higher than that with all of them. Maybe it's because I enjoy doing them really. Um, I had it's really very simple things really. I just sorry. I'm trying to tell you guys like there's something I really believe in when it comes to being a VA. I kind of tell this to all my friends who talk to me about how it's like being a VA. I always tell them being a virtual assistant is basically doing everything you do for yourself, but for someone else and more professional. That's something I always tell them. So you do emails for them. I do emails for myself as well, like all that stuff. Or need to get something on schedule. I just have to make sure it's there for them, like all that
Mm.
stuff. Or if I have to take this call, I have to remember these things I have to do in my regular life. For them, it just ends up more professional. So you gotta make sure that they actually do those things that you have in the back of your head, like that schedule there. That's something I believe in. So literally, when it becomes, sorry, not literally, but specifically when it comes to skills, it's really all the general things, right? So that could be you have to know a little bit of maybe not sure with everyone. For me, I knew a little bit about legal stuff already because that's something
Legal.
legal stuff or knowing at least how legal papers are made.
Yeah.
Mga ganun. And I don't want someone who's watching this to kind of be like afraid because they just heard that. You know what I mean? You can search it anywhere. How this type of paper looks like. Ako, since I went into sales nga, um, basically a deed of sale. I know what that looks like. That's already a legal paper. Like that's
Deed
a
of
legal
sale.
paper you can use, yeah. Or if you've seen contracts, how they look like, basically just this first section of a contract, it's just the legality of it, like how to state who the two parties are, and then you can literally make your own contract by adding in their like articles and stuff like that. So that's what I mean. Like for me, it's knowing legal stuff like that, many legal things, and then also, syempre, after that, it's like Word documents, PowerPoint, sheets. You can just learn them. It's not a very hard thing to do. People get scared. I think people get a lot of scared when they hear admin work because they've never done it in their life. But I think some people don't realize they've already done it because they've done it for themselves. Like someone has used PowerPoint or when you went to school or something like that. Or like sheets if they've listed something down before. They're all really easy, honestly. You just have to think that it's like whatever the best you can do out of it, it's enough. So other than that, graphic design, I've learned that myself then as a growing up and everything. But again, it's really you really have to be creative with your work as well. Even when it comes to admin stuff. So whether you know graphics design or not, as long as it's any type of work, you have to find a very creative way to present it or to keep track of it or to even make it better. Like I honestly, as crazy as it sounds, like even if your creative way is writing it on a cartolina or something and putting it on your wall, it's really the way you put your mind on how something should work or how you should be able to present it. Yeah, so those are my skills basically. And
Yeah, agree. Kasi, marami kasi na mga beginner gusto nila na pag-start, mataasan yung salary diretso without knowing na they need also to upscale or or make sure na yung value nila na nabibigyan nila sa client is worth the rate din.
Surely.
Yeah, that's another thing also with the VA world, hearing that upscale.
Yeah,
Parang,
yeah.
naman yung mga tao nila. Like, just the company upscaling nila, may bibigay something for you to watch. That's so fucking long. You can just leave that out. But it's so long. Like, it's really long. It's 8 minutes of them talking about very specific things. It's very specific, just not important. It's like you're back in school. Like, oh, there's these theories about this. Or, this is what you call this. The certain thing you're doing is this. So, again, yung upscale na yun, I just want to say na if you're actually upscaling, go learn what you think you have to learn and find the shortest time to do it. But make sure that when you do upscaling, you understand it. Like that's all you need to do is you understand how to do those processes and stuff like that. I'm even using deep words like processes. It doesn't have to be processed. Learn how to do it step by step. Like, oh, I have to cut the picture in two. Literally. So simple.
Thanks, Gab. So, maiba lang. Since we've talked about like a lot of your VA points and yung journey mo as a VA, pag-usapan naman natin yung journey mo as a CEO. So, isa ka ring, natatawa ka, isa ka ring CEO ng music label. So, paano nagsimula yun? And bakit siya yung napili mong industry?
As it's a very common thing to say, cliche, music has been a big part of my life. Yes. Lived with a family of musicians, a few musicians. But I think I chose music because at that point in time, it was a situation of mine. I wanted to never work for someone, which is a crazy thing to say. Which is I opened a lot of businesses and now I'm working for someone, but it's great as a VEA. I wanted to do my passion, but I wanted to do it in a way where it's also my fallback. Somehow like that. It's also my fallback. Because, here in this country, people believe always have a fallback, which is why you have to graduate and everything. Just because before you go do whatever you love, try to make a career out there, you have something to fall back on if you fail.
Yeah.
Ako, it's more like the thing I love doing. I would rather have it succeed. So I did. My passion was music. I made it related to music, so I made a business out of music. I'm gonna.
So ano yung mas challenging for you, Gab? Yung client or yung pag-handle ng sarili mong negosyo or yung music label, yeah?
Definitely handling your own business. Everyone starts at zero when you're there. It's much harder to start your own business, but syempre mas rewarding yun. Parang because it's your own thing. But it's kind of to relate on like comparing difficulties. If someone is in that question, whether they want to start their own thing or going to executive work or assistant work, that's work from home. Do both. Like do both because hindi mo alam ano kaya mo until you try. Like if you could handle both at the same time. And if you really love the business you're starting up, then you'd use yung work sa virtual assistant to support them.
Okay. Ang galing no? Kasi napapagsabay mo siya. So, since napapagsabay mo siya, give us a rundown of your typical day. So, sa isang 24 hours mo, saan nagsisimula ang schedule ng pagising hanggang sa pagtulog?
So it's very erratic, at least for me, in the previous months. It changes up talaga. But I think I could say at the peak was since our record label also has a public studio, and imagine me as like I'll start it from my work day. So I start my virtual work at like 10 p.m., which is 9 a.m. Central Time, the US, and then it's 8 hours from there. So I end at 6 a.m. So
So 10
from
p.m. to 6
there,
a.m.
yeah, then I'd go to sleep for a couple of hours or a few hours to get to the opening of my studio, which is at 10 a.m. And luckily, I have company members that help me handle that, like our clients and everything. But from there, it usually ends up 10 already. So it's just a matter of like me leaving it up to them after I have to go to my work already, just my virtual assistant work. And then on the weekdays, it goes to the label side, which we handle the people who are signed under us. So it's very erratic for me. But to relate it to being a virtual assistant, really 8 hours, can't kaya yan.
Natutulog ka pa ba, Gab?
I do. Lately, I have. I've been sleeping a lot. I've been sleeping a lot lately.
So, gusto ko lang i-share sa viewers natin. Actually, yung band ko, ay The Anchor, is part of Gabe's label. So, so every time na nakikita ko si Gabe, like outside of the virtual world, hindi siya natutulog. Lagi siyang gising. Tapos every time you send a message, nagre-reply ka agad yan si Gabe. Kaya, nakakatawa pag-usapan yung schedule niya.
It's true. I'm not the type of person who like leaves the chat. Like someone sent you a message. Bukas ko na yung sagutin. Like, just gonna answer it now, man. Like someone's waiting for a reply.
So, may time din ba, Gab, na parang nagsabay yung emergency ng client mo at saka emergency din ng business mo? Like, how did you handle it?
Emergency in business versus my client. Don't think it ever has conflicted, like an emergency on both sides at the same time. But there has been times where I have to choose which one. Like if this is happening right now in my business, and it's a regular day at my virtual work. Bosses are really kind, by the way. Another misconception that yung mga kuha mo kung CEO, a lot of them are very kind, really. I just tell them, hey, I have this going on in my business. It's okay if I take a time off today. They let me do it, yeah. And then, or if it's my business and my client has something urgent, and basically I'm in an off or like a weekend like that. It's an actual emergency because most clients naman, even if it's urgent, they won't ask you to take time off your day just to go and do it. So that might be a misconception, I don't know. But only if it's very urgent, they'll ask you for like one simple task because they really need it. Just get it done, then I go back to what I was doing.
Kumbaga, kung ano yung mas urgent, yun yung unahin.
Actually, yeah. It comes to business, so that's a whole separate thing. Pero clients are really kind. Or yung mga people you work on, they're really kind.
I agree. Like, yung bosses din namin sa here sa VA Masters, very kind sila. Basta nga gawin mo yung task ka agad.
If you don't do it. Maybe because in value outsourcing versus direct hire. Yeah. Being outsourcing, there's people above you in the management. Being direct hire, it's like your partners with your boss. That's the thing.
True. So, Gab, paano mo pinoprotektahan yung work-life balance mo?
I don't. No, I don't naman. Work-life balance. It's hard to say for someone in my situation.
May other activities ka ba like aside from managing your business? Like, do you play sports ba? I mean,
I do play sports sometimes, yeah. because I graduated from. I didn't graduate, sorry, but I studied sports science. So I loved a lot of sports back then. I kind of know how to play a lot of sports. But other than that, parang gaming business and drinking. It's definitely part of my work life.
Drinking?
Part of
Drinking.
my work life balance. Right? Yes. Pero balancing it out, yeah, asking someone like me who's trying to do something really big as a music label, which I believe is really one of the hardest industries here sa Pinas. It's different because I'm sure back before I opened my music business, handling work life is really easy as a PA. You have all the advances or all the options to make it better for you to work at home. Like whether that's setting up where you're working, what you do while you're working, stuff like that. It's really just a matter of how you want it, what mindset you take when you go into that work. Yeah, for me, again, just to add, it's hard to do that work-life balance because the business that I'm doing now is kind of my life. It's like my life's work. So I can't tell you what a good work-life balance is right now on a regular way.
Pero hindi naman umabot sa point din na parang you think na iwan mo na lang yung pagiging virtual assistant mo and focus ka na sa business.
I've thought about that many times. I've thought about it many times before. Not anymore.
Hmm.
Why? Because I used to think that, oh, I really love this, what I'm doing, or it needs all my time and attention. But honestly, with how much you can support what you love just by doing this virtual stuff, it works. Like, I'll make time for both. Like I said, like don't stop yourself from doing it until you've actually tried it. And for me, I'm able to do both.
Ano siya, he loves all his children. Panday ba?
I love everyone.
Ano ang pinakamalaking lesson mo na pwede mong iwan sa viewers, Gab, sa pagiging CEO, pagiging EA, like, and balancing all of these obligations and priorities? What's like one key lesson that you want to leave our viewers?
Actually thought about this. If I've ever, weirdly enough, I've thought about this. I
Good.
think it would be when you're entering being a virtual assistant or anywhere in life, you have to take it. Sorry, career-wise, if you're entering anywhere in life, career-wise, you have to take it with the mindset that you're there to solve someone's problem. A lot of these people, right, who are trying to apply to work or even being an assistant, and they're scared of the things like the requirements or what people say are the requirements are. They take it as, oh, I'm trying to get work from this person. Like, even in a simple interview, you're like, they take it with the mindset that I'm here to get work from you. Like, I want to work under you, all that stuff. They'll ask you, what can you provide, and all that stuff. And you tell them, this is what I know right now, this is what I can provide. But for me, it's always worked, or I believe it will always work if you take it with the mindset that you're there to solve someone's problem. So, ako when I enter interviews or something like that, it's always in a way that you're not here with them. You know, you're right here. We're here to exchange services. Like, yeah, sure, here they're the ones who are going to pay you, but you're there to solve their problem. So even when I enter interviews, I ask them, "Oh, what they ask me? What can you provide?" I ask them, "Well, what are your problems? Like, what is there that you need that I should be doing? Because I'm able to do all of this, but it's very easy to find a way to fix your problem." Like, just keep that mindset. You know, I think that's the key takeaway talaga. Like, you're always there to solve someone's problem, or you're on the same level. You're not there as an employee, you're there as like a partner.
True. Galing ni Gab.
Love it. Iikat mo to, Roxy, iikat mo tong part na to. Ba't hindi ka na lagi magseryoso eh?
Okay, so let's play. I mean, rapid fire. Let's do rapid fire. So this is gonna be like Tito Boy's fast talk. So we will throw you some quick questions, and you'll answer it quickly. Then, so
Or
first is Gab, coffee or energy drink?
coffee. Coffee. I do coffee.
Remote
But I
or
drink a lot of
office?
Sting. Sorry, go.
Like you drink it daily ba?
No. No naman.
Kasi
Okay.
parang
It's-
ano siya,
it's so good.
harmful. Yeah, I think it's harmful.
Nasasarapan ka sa lasa niya?
Yeah, I don't know. I like the cherry flavor. It's good. Anyway.
Ako din, be. Umainom din ako, be.
Kasi talaga, hindi matapang yung cherry flavor sa inyo doon.
I'm a sweet tooth. I love sweet stuff. So, okay lang yun sa akin.
Pero mga ano lang ako, siguro mga once a week lang.
I don't think that much anymore. Anyways, go. Go.
Going back, remote or office?
What happens if my remote is my office?
Hindi mo.
Remote.
Alright. Morning shift or night shift?
Oh, wow. That was... There's breaks for both. I would do morning shift, honestly. I would do morning shift. I don't
Phone
know.
app you can't live without.
A phone app I can't live without. Siguro, maybe Messenger now. Because I that's how I connect with people.
One skill every executive assistant should learn.
I think legal stuff. Like get a foot into legal stuff, knowing how to make those papers and everything. It's a good idea.
One thing clients secretly love.
One thing clients secretly love is when you kind of step out of your comfort zone or when you try to decide things for them without them asking, they love that. So your VA, don't always wait for them to order you to do something. If you know there's something like you can kind of design for them and you tell that to them, they love that.
Yes. One thing applicants keep doing wrong.
I think it's kind of limiting themselves, really. Limiting their CVs and all that stuff, honestly. They think that everything you put in your experience has to be professional. It doesn't. Like, if you know a little bit of this, put it there. So it's very easy to start
Yes.
from that point.
So Gav, thank you so much for sharing your insight, your journey, and for giving advice to our viewers. Sobrang nakaka-inspire to see a person that has their own business and at the same time is still growing their VA career as much as possible. Parang I always look at people like you as examples of kung kaya niya, kaya nyo din. So guys, walang limitation sa pangangarap. So basta may disiplina kayo at tamang sistema, you will succeed.
Yes, that is right, Tata. And for today's takeaways, first is hindi sapat ang magkaroon lang ng skills. You should know how to build trust then to your clients. Second is yung pagiging executive assistant is ay higit pa sa admin task. In-explainan ni Gab kanina. And isa itong role na need ng leadership, communication, and problem solving. And third is hindi hadlang ang pagkakaroon ng sariling pangarap. And pwedeng maging stepping stone yung pagiging virtual assistant mo para mabuo yung negosyo na gusto mo.
Okay, Gab, so before we wrap up, any final words for our viewers?
No. I really hope you guys get from that key takeaway. Yeah. Entering being a virtual assistant is don't be afraid of it. Enter it with the mindset that you're there to help them. Them there being to hire you.
All right. So thank you, Gab, for being so open on sharing your journey.
Lot of
Okay.
learn, lot of learn.
And if you found this episode helpful, huwag niyong kalimutan mag-subscribe sa From Kayod to Keyboard and leave a heart emoji sa comments below.
Yeah, so I'm Roxy.
And I'm Tata. See you sa next episode. Say bye.
Bye.